Hey everybody, Raul here for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we're going to take a close look at something that is of universal interest to bass players, musicians, and even just music lovers, and that is another pair of headphones. Yay! So with that, we're looking at the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro X headphones, and what I'm looking for when I'm looking at a pair of headphones, I want something that is going to give me, it's going to deliver the full range of sound, especially the low end for my needs. I also like to have something that is going to be comfortable because I can be wearing it for quite some time. I like to have something that will help me not necessarily hear things, distractions in my surroundings. So I know that there are those that you want to actually hear through, but I like to be able to focus on what's coming through on my headphones. So let's take a close look and see what these guys are about. Okay, the first thing we want to see is what's inside of the box. The first thing we notice as we lift it, it's very great presentation. They've done a really great job at packing this. We have, of course, the DT770 Pro X headphones. There is a 3-meter cable. For those of you that don't work in metric, that's 9.8 feet. And it has a mini XLR at one end and a mini stereo jack at the other end, and that would be a 1/8 for us or 3.5 millimeters. It does come with a 1/4 inch adapter, and again metric 6.35 millimeters. You get a drawstring bag and a small little headphone instruction pamphlet. Now, when we look at the specs on these headphones, you'll notice that they are circumaural studio headphones, and they're designed to use for recording and monitoring. They have a full range of sound thanks to a stellar 0.45 driver, and that is designed to give you from 5 to 4,000 hertz. It has neodymium magnets inside, and it has a copper-plated coil to give you low distortion even at high volumes. The cable itself is detachable, so at one end you have that mini XLR, and that's going to make it convenient, especially when you're traveling. You don't have to worry about the cable being twisted at the base of the headphones. They're extraordinarily comfortable. You can see they have like a velour fabric on the headphones themselves, and they are made in Germany. So as we look at the technical data, it's an over-ear style, closed headphones using a wired transmission. It is got a firm fit for professional use. Again, velour is the material. There is no remote. The nominal impedance on the headphones is 48 ohms. They weigh only 305 grams. You're looking at an online cost of just under $200. Okay, let's talk about my findings on the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro X headphones. The first thing I'll mention is I put them through trials I wish I could share with you, but you kind of have to take my word for it. As always, I do recommend that anything that I try, you should try for yourself and see how it seems to you, because we're all very different. But one of my first trials was listening to music. I went through a whole album listening. It replicated highs, lows, vocals, horns, bass, everything very clear. Picked up percussion very nicely. So I think as far as the range, it was absolutely perfect. I had no problems with that. Because I spent some time doing it, they were on my head for quite some time, and I found them quite comfortable. And that's another important factor that you're looking for. The length of the cable is very nice. I mean, you've got a lot of cable. Sometimes you might have a little more than you actually need, but you could probably use a little Velcro circle and kind of short off if you don't want quite as much kind of dangling around. You could loop it or do something like that. I also tried it using my Journey Instruments travel bass and the Fender Mustang Micro Plus. Plug these into the Mustang, and I was able to listen to several different settings. I tried running it through, different sounds, different volumes, and it worked like a charm. Also, again, very comfortable, and it's like you're just all by yourself in the studio playing away. So they work very nicely for that as well. So I can imagine that if you're recording or doing any other things, these will, certainly fit the bill. Coming in at a price point under $200, I think that's also very reasonable for a product of this caliber. Something else that I'll point out, in the little instruction booklet, you'd kind of go, what kind of instructions can they give you for headphones? Well, basically, you do have the advantage that, let's say you've worn these and they've gotten all funky. They actually sell the additional cushions, and the headband is interchangeable, so you can get another one of those. You can get a curly cable if you want. Again, they seem to be kind of selling out on some of the areas of products. So, again, I take very good care of them, but just so that you know that if you want something else, it's possible to get parts, at least at this particular time and junction. So if you want to look into them more for yourself, simply go to www.north-america.beyerdynamic.com. Now, that may be for all of us in North America. I Googled Beyerdynamic, and that's what popped up, and I was able to access it. If you are elsewhere in the world, I'd suggest just Google Beyerdynamic, and you'll find the website that is applicable to you and will give you the information that you're looking for. So, this has been Raul with Bass Musician Magazine. Today we've looked at the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro X headphones. I think they're a real winner for us bass player and music lovers alike. We're bringing you the latest and the greatest in the world of bass. Make sure you check out all of our interviews and all of our product reviews and all of the stuff that we continuously bring you. We've been doing this over 18 years now. So Raul signing off.